Alright, so today I'm going to be replacing my Egr valve, which is this entire part right here. And to remove it, it's pretty easy. So the first thing, disconnect some of the connections here. So I'm going to start off by disconnecting the first connection, which is this one right here. Just put the pin down. And then I'm going to disconnect the vacuum line, which is right here at the side. Wiggle it just a bit. So you see there? The next thing you're going to want to disconnect is the mass airflow sensor, because this wire is in the way. So disconnect that real quick. Put that in the bottom. Now this oil cap for me is going to be in the way, so I'm going to have to untwist the oil cap. And from here, I'm going to cover it with the tape here, because I don't want anything to insert inside the oil tank. Make sure it's tight. Now before you start unscrewing these two bolts, which is on the front right here, you're gonna have to unscrew this huge bolt, which is this one right here. For this bolt, you're gonna need a wrench for this, like a big wrench. I bought these two wrenches here from Walmart. This one cost me like $8, and it's about, I'll say, like 8 inches in length. And I bought this other one as well. So hopefully one of these two should be able to unscrew that bolt. The millimeters I used to unscrew the nut was around, I'll say, a 27 millimeter. Around there, 27, 26. So the first wrench I'm going to use is this one right here. So let me start by, see if I could twist this here. Oh, yeah, it's hard. Shit. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. As you can see, this one was very tight on there. One thing you should do is put some WD-40 on the threads right here, because this is going to be pretty hard to unscrew. And I don't think this EGR has ever been changed, so it was pretty hard to unscrew. So right now I'm gonna get some WD-40 and install some of it right here on the threads. There you go. Alright, that's good enough. Just make sure you don't get the WD-40 on the connections here. As you can see here, don't get it on the connections or right here either. It's pretty easy to do that, so make sure you don't. You know, this pipe right here is in the way, so I'm gonna remove this pipe real quick. I should have done that since the beginning. Okay. It's pretty much loose from here. Okay, so as you can see here, it comes off just like this. All I have to do is just unscrew the two bolts and remove it from there. Put this at the side. And to remove those two bolts, you're gonna need a 10 millimeter socket. This bolt, it was already loose, so that's why it was easy to unscrew. Even though the screw is getting loose, this nut is not an actual nut. It's pretty much stuck to this plate right here. So this will not be coming out, remember that. Okay, got the first screw out. So as you can see, it's already starting to get loose from the second screw. But remember, there's a gasket right in between the EGR valve. This gasket right here, you want to make sure to grab this gasket before it falls, because it fell on me before. It actually fell in between this gap right here. As you can see there, it fell in between there, and it was pretty hard to get out. I actually have a picture here, and this is how I basically got it out. I got like a very thin wire, and from there I bent it from the end, and I tried to fish it out, and that was pretty hard to do. I was pretty lucky as well. So you want to make sure to remove that gasket before it falls. Okay, there it is. As you can see, this is the gasket I'm talking about. Make sure this gasket does not fall. You don't want this gasket to get lost somewhere inside the engine bay. So it does have some carbs inside. And as you can see, I just pulled this cap off, and this is how the inside looks like. There's like a filter inside of it. I don't know if it's really dirty or not, or if it's acceptable to use, but there's a good thing I'm replacing the whole entire thing, because as you can see here, it's pretty rusty. All around the gasket, the metal parts is pretty rusty. This is my new EGR valve. The inner filter here is actually gray instead of brown. So this is how it basically looks like from the inside. And this EGR is pretty much brand new. I bought this EGR from AutoZone for around $100. The new EGR valve includes a gasket as well, with some new screws here. So from the pipes itself, there isn't any chunks of carb inside here. It's pretty much hollow. As you can see here, it looks pretty minimal to me. And on the pipe here too, there's no chunks or anything like that stuck inside. So that's a good thing. But before I install the EGR, I'm gonna get some of this carb spray cleaner here to spray inside the tiny holes right here and right here as well. Make sure to spray just to get all the extra carb out of there. And another thing, you want to make sure to cover the connections as well. You do not want to get this wet. Now try to clean this area up, and right here as well, trying to clean it up with the carb cleaner. Now let's start by installing everything back together again. You want to try to screw one screw at a time. Get a couple of twists on one side and then screw in the other side as well. Make sure both screws screw in evenly. Everything is lined up correctly, so look on this side and look on the other side and make sure the two slots are evenly applied. Sure, it's pretty tight on there. Okay, that's good enough. Pretty much tight on there. Okay, now from here, everything is basically connected correctly. Make sure you don't miss any wires. Make sure you don't miss any of the vacuum lines. It's pretty much tight on this area. Make sure it's evenly installed on the other side as well. And as you can see there, everything is flushed. Make sure you don't see any gaps. You want to make sure it's closed correctly. Just wait around an hour or so for the carb cleaner to dry up inside the throttle body. Now I'm gonna start the car, and hopefully everything should be working correctly here. So here we go. Alright, there was a slight rough startup, but it started up at the end. That's normal. The only reason it did that is because I added all of that carbon cleaner inside the throttle body. So this is normal to do that. But as you can see here, there is no shakiness or anything like that from the RPMs. Now let me just wait 30 seconds and let me turn it off, then turn it right back on. But when I turn it on, it's gonna turn on correctly. As you can see there, everything's pretty much good to go. Okay, so that's how you replace the EGR on your car. This should work for most models. They're basically the same exact instructions. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.